One, two, three, go. Jesse. How are you?
Racism exists. Okay.
Oh yeah, it does.
All right.
But
Always gotta
you gotta
start off.
get that off your plate.
Gotta
real
get it
quick.
off the plate. Racism exists, and it doesn't matter if it's white on white or black on black. We will always discriminate. It's the way
Yes.
of the land.
It is the way of the land.
It's literally the way of the land.
Welcome to the United States of America.
Welcome. Yeah.
All right. Well, how was your trip, man?
Oh man. The police are so intense in Chicago.
Really?
I
mean,
thought
I've
I
heard
beat the
that.
wave. I thought I beat the yeah, but like that was a lot of police. There was no police in like I was on the south side. It was crazy. So took a little vacation. Got to finally take a vacation. Went out to Chicago, my home place. I missed it, loved it. It's weird during the COVID times wearing masks. Any area that was mainly for not black people had police. I went out to the south side. We had to get some Harold's chicken. I had to get it for the second time. Love Harold's chicken. And we were gonna go to the south side, and it's late. Didn't see none police, and I started being afraid. Cause I was like, man, I don't want to go to the south side. I know how they act on the south side, but then I was like, where are they at? But any nice rich area, any middle class area, they were there everywhere. They were all over the place.
Yeah.
It was weird. And I was like, man, not about this. Illinois, legal weed, cool. We went up to Wisconsin, crazy. Was in Kenosha with all the craziness and everything. But you can kind of feel it. It's weird. Like seeing the police, it's in the air.
Yeah.
Because from Milwaukee to Chicago is only an hour and a half away from each other.
Yeah.
Right? They're really close. And Kenosha's in the middle. Mm-hmm. So you can feel in the air, just seeing the police just from there to there. You can tell someone pop off. That's why I was like, oh, I need to go to Chicago. It's crazy. If I would have been there during that time, that'd have been wild. I don't even know how I would have felt. I would have saw all that crazy stuff. Got to go to St. Louis, Milwaukee. We went to Houston, Memphis. We just traveled.
Yeah, you were in the group chat, and it looked like you were all over the world, man.
We wanted to go. If we would have got a second stimulus, I would have went further. We would have made it further out, and we would have headed a little bit to Colorado. We would have took the Route 66 thing and traveled that. That was the initial goal, but we just shortened it and still traveled. And my girlfriend got to notice, and I told her, Missouri is more racist than most South states.
I didn't know that.
So you find a lot of KKK headquarters around the edges of Missouri, right? They have a lot of sundown towns, even today, are in Missouri. And I told her that, when we're going up, when we're in Missouri, I'm just once I hit about 10 miles right before we hit Illinois, I'm about to speed. Told her, I'm not going to get caught, right? If the cops pull me over, it's going to be Illinois police. It's not about being the Missouri police.
Oh. I didn't even realize it. I knew it was
So, Missouri has a lot of farmland, right? And a lot of people, a lot of farmland, don't talk about it because, in the South, she started noticing just riding through, people's barns had Trump 2020 painted big.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
No, but it was so many. We went to a gas station, and it's the most unique Trump hats you ever seen. You start seeing billboard signs of Trump 2020. You start seeing billboard signs. We need to vote biblically. You start seeing all these type of things. We went to one gas station, and
kind of weird.
My girl was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go pay for the gas and go to the bathroom." She put her mask on. You go pump. So I get out, get ready to pump. She comes out, and she's like, "Nah, we're going somewhere else." I was like, "Why?" I walked in there. Nobody had a mask. Everybody's staring at me, and I realized where we're at. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get going.
And we just go. And she's just gone because she realized there was just a lot. And then I know oh well, Trump doesn't equal racist people, but there's a certain air of this Southern way. You're anti-mask.
Yeah.
You champion Trump abnormally.
The Merry Christmas crowd.
Yes.
There's a stereotypical design of people in every way.
She felt so awkward when she walked in with a mask that I was like, oh, so you know how it feels being a black person walking to a white Ollie's place. That's how she just literally felt it. They were just huh, you ain't from around here. She's like, not doing this.
The best way I've heard it put is not every Trump vote is a racist, but every racist is a Trump vote.
Oh yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
That is a really good way. But it was really great. Perfect weather in Chicago because it wasn't really hot. It was perfect. But they closed the beach down. and I hated that.
Is it just because of COVID concerns, or?
I'm not sure it's COVID or they were looting, because there was businesses that had all cardboarded was all cardboarded up and would have open on it because the windows and everything were broke out. They really just trashed it. It was intense. Things were going on, like they were just wilding out. Like in Chicago, they're just really wilding out, and there multiple businesses like all through the city. I was seeing this, and so I can understand they were lifting up bridges to like certain parts of the city to make sure people can come. I almost got ran over by an undercover policeman because he was just running red lights at night, and I was like, "Whoa!" And
all right, man, just do your thing then.
But like but all the other policemen knew he was undercover. I'm just like, "What are you running rounds for? What is going on here?" It was really different. I feel bad because like things are changing in Chicago and it's been happening and it's getting worse.
Yeah.
But Milwaukee was great. I enjoyed it. Everybody, making the best of 2020. I think that's what people need to do. Yeah. This is a weird time, but there's some like things that you can do.
Oh yeah. I want to start going random places once I start making a little bit of money. I've spent like the whole last 3 years kind of locked in by school and haven't been able to do much.
But I feel like I've been spending the last 3 locked in, just hustling and everything. But now I got some money and everything like that. I'm ready to go out and travel again. I'm trying to like get to a point where like I can take at least like a few day trip somewhere. We were planning to go. Me and the girl planning to go. If it wasn't because like in October we were planning to go it's a part in California and off of Nevada. We were going to go there, but, they're having wildfires. 2020 is a crazy year everywhere, right? Yeah. Like, we get double hurricanes here.
Everyone's getting so fucked.
And fire. Yeah, we was going to go out there because we had a friend out there. He's like, yeah, just stay for a week and everything. So we were going to go out there,
Mm-hmm.
But then wildfires happen. I'm just like, why? What is going on? All these crazy things are happening everywhere.
I wonder if it's not so much just crazier things happening or just the amount of coverage that we have. And by the internet.
That's the thing, too, because, like, I tell people all the time, like, the worst times in U.S. history are the ones we don't talk about, and that's from, like, 1880 to 1920s.
Yeah.
Right?
That was in the middle of, like, the Spanish flu. That was the last major pandemic, I think.
Well, you had bombings.
Yeah.
And, out of nowhere, like, there were multiple towns, they just kind of murdered a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like, town murders were actually common. Right, and that's why you see all the weird podcasts of people talking about like all the weird like, why did this person do this? The murder investigation stuff, all are during that time.
Mm-hmm.
But school system, you only talk about the Steel Age in New York, so they don't cover all the other stuff. You don't cover how after slavery was over, how black people rose back up.
Yeah.
Before they were like, oh, well, we need to bomb Black Wall Street. Well, then we're not going to talk about it.
The United States is not going to acknowledge anything crooked that it did. That's just the way it is.
That's true. Which is kind of crazy. 2020 showed me how dumb people are. I truly believe, and it's great. I really didn't think I was really that smart of a person. Like I knew I work hard for my intelligence, but I never really thought I was that smart. But now 2020 showed me I'm smarter than 70% of the population in America easily. Like there's that many dumb people, and the thing is just like, how can you still believe in 9/11? Like, how can you not? Like, it's not a conspiracy. Like, the fact that they say this is a conspiracy, like, what happened with 9/11, the government did stuff.
Something happened. But I'm not going to speak with certainty to what it was.
But that's what all I'm saying.
But it wasn't just, like, planes hitting buildings.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how can you just not, like, acknowledge that? People will get mad.
I don't know. If you've ever seen a controlled demolition, it was definitely a controlled demolition.
That's
what it was.
It's on video of it. How can you not? How can you just ignore this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we like ignore all these other things.
Our attention span is really short now.
But see, I think that's like there's a lot of things part of design, and that's because 70% of them just caught in this like ignorant design. Like we're designed not to want to study. It's actually rare to study. It's rare to wait and not let your emotions control your opinion.
I mean, that's why everything is headlines. Like, if you get on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, it's like all headlines because it's just like whatever the thing is right now that's supposed to hold our attention and then we're going to forget in 15 minutes. It's going to be, whatever shooting happened next, or what's on fire now, or, what storm is happening
That's
right
true.
now. It's everything's very, 15 minutes at a time.
And news is terrible. And it's crazy to say, news is terrible. But it's hard. You don't get the news. You see things like bombing happened in this area. Okay. You have to, dig and research that. It should be a common thing, right?
And there's not just news ever anymore. It's always leaned in some direction, which is pretty obnoxious.
Earlier today, I kept asking, are you sure the hurricane doesn't hit now? Because all day I've been hearing about hurricanes. People watch out. And people and legit all on my Facebook everywhere, people were talking about it's supposed to rain, it's supposed to hit hard. And they're you're like, no, it's tomorrow. Why is everybody talking about it like it's tonight?
I don't know.
And why is articles kind of talking like it's going on?
I mean, it's something that people probably need to prepare for. I don't know how bad it's going to be here. We're no longer in the trajectory of it, according to the Weather Channel, so I don't.
But even then, people need to prepare for it. Prepare for it is not buying all the water and toilet paper.
No.
We don't even know how to prepare.
No.
Why
is toilet paper the thing?
Oh, shit.
I mean, you're going to shit, but
shit's going to get real.
You can use a washcloth and wash it.
That's true.
You're not going to die without toilet paper.
That was really weird during the COVID thing. I thought that was the weirdest thing. We gotta buy toilet paper. This is a pandemic. Why? What? Does COVID make you shit a lot? I'm confused.
I mean, it does for some people.
Oh, it does have the diarrhea effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not more abnormally different than.
It's not. Again, I'm with you.
We didn't even know it at the time. When they were buying toilet paper, that was not a thing talked about.
No, it was all just the respiratory shit at that point.
Yeah. And it's just that shows the ignorance of a lot of people. They couldn't assess it. They were overly buying water.
Dramatic reaction to anything, I think, is a bad move.
And people just kind of do that. I think people are ready for the end of the world. And that's kind of since 2012?
Yeah.
No. Since the millennia. That was, for me, that's when I remembered the end of the world was happening.
Yeah.
Was in 2000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was weirdly scared because some number was going to change everything, and robots were going to kill us, or we're going to be blown up because a missile launch was on accident. Something really dumb. Now you look at it
dude, humans love apocalypse porn. Why do you think the Bible's so big?
They also love racist porn.
That's true.
They do. They love some racial porn. And
think about what's our favorite. Look at Dragon Ball, for instance. What's our favorite arc in Dragon Ball, generally speaking?
Favorite arc?
I don't know about you, but for me, it's the Future Trunks stuff.
Okay, good. I was because I was man, I'm gonna say Cell, but he's gonna be no, it's Frieza. But I'm because the world blowing up in 5 minutes was big. It's Cell because Cell, that arc is just amazing to me. I just really, it was all over the place, but it was all over the place it was leading up.
Yeah.
It didn't feel all that different. And that was the whole world was oh, and what, people bought up toilet paper.
Yeah.
They traveled.
Bought up all toilet paper.
Cell's gonna blow up the world.
The point I was making was I don't know what it is about the concept of apocalypse. Mm-hmm. That just,
damn, they sent,
in a fantasy sense.
They sent Donald Hercule Trump to save the world. So, oh my God.
Dude, that's the best comparison.
Oh my God.
Of a character to a real life person I've ever heard. Donald Trump is Hercule Satan from Dragon Ball.
If you think, because he's based off a wrestler persona.
Yeah,
Donald Trump
Hulk
is
Hogan.
a WWE Hall of Famer.
I mean, Donald Trump is if Hulk Hogan was
in politics.
And not as dramatic a character. He didn't have to be a wrestler. He was an actual person.
Mm-hmm.
That's Donald Trump. All he cares about is his TV ratings, making the headlines. He's a fucking wrestler.
And then the thing about Hercule, this makes it even worse, is he was technically calling things fake news. Well, that's smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
He literally was calling fake news. Oh my God. He literally was and this was a global thing going on in the world. And he's you see, they're using a bunch of lasers and smoke and mirrors. It's not real.
Hiding under a tarp that looks like a rock.
And people felt at ease, right? They didn't want to wear the mask around Cell because they were feeling at ease. Oh my God. No, we need to compare this.
It matches up pretty well.
It does.
Leave it up to the Japanese to predict history before it happens.
And then after people actually took care of the thing, he claimed it. Oh yeah, I did this.
Yeah.
It was me. Or like you speak of Trump, like
I made America great again.
cell isn't real. It's smoke and mirrors. It's wrong. They're not doing it. We're handling it.
Coronavirus is going to go away just like magic.
It's gonna go away.
It's just going to be gone.
It's gonna go away. Or how did Trump say it? Oh, you say America is number one? I don't see it as a bad thing. It says we're good at something. We're the highest numbers. I was like, whoa, you really we really gonna ride with him? He straight up just said this. He turned the bad thing into a good thing. So we're number one in numbers is a good thing. Like, no,
that's not what that means.
No,
dude.
this is we're in last place.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to,
I'm not surprised about it. It's because we invest nothing into medicine. Absolutely nothing. One of my
Big Pharma making too much money to actually care about healing people.
Yeah. I mean, just for instance, okay, one of my teachers in nursing school was a doctor of nursing. He was a doctor in Iraq. His degree didn't transfer whenever he moved over here, so he said, I'll go to nursing school, and then he got a doctorate in that, so now he's a doctor nurse, whatever. He was talking about how he had practiced in so many different countries, impoverished countries, wealthy countries, whatever, and America's the only place that our drugs cost anywhere near as much as they do. In most impoverished countries, the drugs are free to the populace. Like, how does that happen?
Get people getting you like it's the concept like funerals need people to die. You know, Big Pharma needs people to get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
And that's the whole thing. And it's kind of crazy, but like that whole like discussion over like we need a better healthcare system has been going on since the Bush. I found out it's been going on Bush because actually it wasn't Obamacare. It's actually Mitt Romney care, which is funny. Republicans are so against it because Republicans actually posed it, but he couldn't get it in time before Bush stopped being president.
Well, most Republicans, and this is, I have friends who are Republicans, and I don't hate Republicans, but most Republicans have a general lack of understanding of what words mean.
You can say the same thing for liberals.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But I'm so like tired of this whole thing. I'm not a socialist. I'm a capitalist through and through. But I'm so tired of.
You're a libertarian.
Well, I mean that goes along with it. But I'm so tired of seeing people call anything that they disagree with socialism just because that's the hot trigger word.
That is the hot trigger word, which is funny. Like, they don't do that when, like, they use socialism for big companies.
Yeah. I mean...
Right? Like...
It's anything that they don't like or disagree with is socialist. It's like, no, that word has an actual meaning.
They get mad when you tell them the police force is socialist.
I know they do.
Oh, no, it's not.
My dad was a firefighter, and when I told him that was, like, socialism to tax people and pay for the salaries of firefighters with it, he just, like... He just denied it. He wouldn't argue with me. He wouldn't bring up a point. He's like, no, that's not what it means. It's like, motherfucker, look it up.
He felt that uncomfortable. I know. Yeah. Every time I make a Facebook post, that part that happened to your dad happens to people, and that's where they say I stirred the pot and I'm dramatic and everything. Because it hits this point, and they're just like, Jesse's triggering me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm not. I'm stating a valid point, and I'm making you think. And thinking hurts because you're trained not to.
Yeah.
Right?
I try to approach everything with a certain amount of, like, I could be dead wrong about this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love to give you shit whenever you're wrong about stuff.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I love to like, hey, JD said this, because you say it with so much valor that you know what you're talking about. So that's why I screenshot be like, yo, remember when JD said this?
Oh, I know.
but I'm into it.
I'm pretty okay to be like, yeah, I was fucking wrong.
Right?
I was wrong about that.
And like, that's what we need to do. We need to admit, like, oh, because you never stop learning.
I consider that a quality of a decent person is a fair amount of uncertainty.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just to debate and talk and not like get Superman. Like, we talk about all sorts of things. We talk about all things that you really can't talk about in public or you get canceled.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. You guys are my safe space.
Yeah. We talk about all types of whatever. We just talk about the wild stuff. On it, which it needs to be like that, and people need that, But that's why I appreciate, you guys, because like you guys are understanding enough and will hear me out and come from a different area. So you guys give me a different, because it's funny. Like, I have one where it's like mainly black people that have you guys, and it's like, I get. it's different. Like I say things to y'all and everything, and sometimes I'll start the same conversation in 2 different chats, and I will like whatever y'all say, I'll act like that in that chat, and whatever they say, I act like that in that chat, just to kind of get these both points.
Yeah,
because it's just really wild, or whatever else, and just like wow, it's just because y'all have just different viewpoints on it.
And I'm not trying to be braggadocious at all, but like we're a pretty decent group of white guys as far as like
top 30%.
We're just like chill, and we don't really ever get mad about anything.
No, I think we're like it's a great set. You guys are a great set of friends, and I realize like me, I cut people off all the time, and it's like socially where you're around, you have to pick and choose.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, sure.
And you guys all have ambitions, and we surround each other. We don't really like. I can't think of a friend I have that doesn't really have ambitions on some level and doesn't work towards it, and on some level, like everybody does, right?
And it doesn't even have to be like a huge thing.
No, it doesn't.
Just like have goals, man.
You have goals and move forward. Like nobody's really settling. Like the friends that are married or does have kids, like they're still focused, right? Like they're still doing things. That's why I like the chat. Like when Zaylen added all those people in there, everybody's still dedicated towards everything else. I don't know about this one guy. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes.
Go in the corner and jack off a bit. I don't know. But it's like we're still like focused to do things, and that's why I appreciate about it because you know that energy. We don't have that one friend like, oh man, I just did math.
Yeah,
and I got syphilis. And we're like, we don't have that friend.
Like I have acquaintances that do shit like that, but I'm very picky about who gets to be my friend.
I mean, I have acquaintances that are like there's a certain level of like racism, and like now we're in the point where we can acknowledge like how racist a person is and everything. Like before, it was just like if you didn't say hard R, you wasn't deemed racist. And I was like the only person calling race. I feel like a hipster now because I literally was calling people racist all the time, and people looked at me crazy.
You were picking up on those like little tiny behaviors,
but nobody would want to like have that discussion. So, but like there's certain level of like racism I would like allow. Like I'll deem you as a friend. Like if you're a little bit too far, I'm not around you, right?
Because a lot of it is like so deeply ingrained that you don't always realize it. Like you've called out shit to me before that I was doing, and I didn't even like. You didn't know it. I didn't think about it.
Yeah. Well, I don't like, and I don't try and outwardly do it. Like I don't like this is make or break our friendship type thing. I'll be like, that's racist. Yeah. And you be like, how's it racist? I'm like, there's it go. And then and it takes some time, and you're like, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Because I tell everybody, and people get so mixed up. Black people are the oppressed, right? Mm-hmm. So white people are the oppressors. So white people are racist.
All throughout history.
So, and that's how the system is, right? This is why you can look at it and be like, oh, okay, black people aren't racist and white people are racist. Because white people
in general, yes.
Yeah, because white people aren't oppressed and black people are. But there's levels to it, and there's certain people there, and this is the certain level where a free black person gets to a point where they're not oppressed. Yeah. And that's where black people are trying to go. And that's why some black people put on the MAGA hat or act like Kanye West. That's why I defend people like that, because you have to go through these ignorant times and just trying to understand and get out of this way you were raised. Yeah. Same thing with a white person. You have to go through these levels and everything. And that's why there's a certain point where you reach of caring to not caring. Mm-hmm. Then you get out of it and you start noticing and you have consideration. And that's where we miss. You have to have consideration because you have to understand. That's why seeing color is a racist thing to say. Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I point things out like, oh, this or whatever.
You mean when people say I don't see color, that's a racist
thing. That's a racist thing. Yeah. Because you need to acknowledge what's going on.
You need to acknowledge how someone else's experience of life is different than yours.
Yeah, you do. We're all, like, we go through different things. What you guys experience is different. What I go through is different, right? Yeah. Like, we have to take into account and acknowledge, not really be a dick about it. Yeah. You know? Like,
and I come from a family that's very much like, well, they must have run out of white privilege because I had to work for everything. It's like, yeah, we all have to work for everything, but the difference is, like, your skin color's never been an issue.
It's never that. Like, if you
at all.
If you get killed by the police, but nobody's gonna bring up, well, you were high on meth 2 years ago. Like, nobody's gonna say that about you, right? Yeah. Like, and that's where we're getting to the point where, like, overt racism is dying out and has been dying out. And now we got to go through this certain level of, like, kind of the covert racism, the Joe Biden racism. Yeah. Where he could just say subtle jabs, and it's like, bro, we just won't really let this man ride.
I don't think that guy knows where he's at, man. Mm-hmm. Let alone he's saying racism.
He knows where he's at by smell.
He's like a dog. I've been here before.
Yeah. I know this area. I know this place. Man, I will vote for Joe. I will straight up vote for Joe Biden if first debate he walks up and sniffs Trump. If he straight up dominates him.
If he memes it, if he memes it, I'll vote for him.
He just walks up and just sniffs him, grabs him by his hair, just sniffs Trump, and Trump's like, "Whoa," and then he just walks away like straight up and just chuckles and just continues the debate.
He has
like
to
nothing.
say some movie villain shit. They're like, Head and Shoulders, nice.
Millennia. He says something wild, like he started acknowledging. He's just like,
"This is horsehair."
Oh, that would be just so funny. He just runs up, sniffs this man like an alpha male.
Yeah.
Like straight up dominates him.
That's an alpha move.
Hard. I'll straight up ride for him. I'll be like, yeah, bro, we about to put a vice president cop up in there. I'm going to jail. You going to jail.
He's creepy, but he gets meme culture. So he's won my vote.
Remember, that's how it started with the Obama thing. They memed that, and a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like Biden because he sniffs women. Like, oh, y'all was sharing those memes.
Yeah.
All right, don't act like he didn't get y'all.
Yeah. That was the weirdest transformation ever, was the downfall of Joe Biden in the eyes of the progressives.
Man, the downfall of Ellen DeGeneres and Tom Hanks is still getting me.
I don't want to talk about Tom Hanks.
I'm so saying. I tell people all the time, like, I think I'm about to, if I move out of America, move to Greece, and I'm just gonna hold a gun to him off the side of a Greece cliff and be like, "You got a friend in me," and just end it, and do it, right? I just got to do it, And I hope when he falls off the cliff, he yells Wilson. Like, I hope it's like a full, like, whoa, like he just straight up, like, I gotta do it, man. Like I don't want it to be real. I don't want it to be true.
No, I don't either.
I really.
There's several people that are on those flight logs that I don't want it to be true. That they were just there during some normal night, if they did normal nights.
Well, I just assume, like, 90s, you just go there, you don't know, so you're going to be on a flight log. Cause I'm just going to hope you heard rumors, but you're not going to believe the rumors.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, a lot of people have rumors, and you just didn't think of it. Especially 90s, that's not something you thought about.
Yeah.
And then once you saw it, you're like, no, oh my God. You left.
It seems too like comic book or movie-esque that all of these celebrities and influential people would all be into fucking children.
But it's politicians in Hollywood kind of makes sense, though.
I know, but it's such a massive thing.
I mean, human trafficking has been going on for...
a long time.
Long time.
Probably as long as human history, if we want to count, like, sex slavery. And
prostitution is the oldest job than human trafficking. It's the oldest thing too, because and man, you don't want to. That's why I'm like, man, because like I feel like we're getting to a point of like heroes, and I think like when people talk about statues and stuff like that, like every white statue in America was a slave owner.
Yeah. Right.
Like we're losing heroes. Like what hero? Who is human? Who is like heroic enough we can keep, but human enough where they didn't become they weren't that evil. Like, who was still like a nice human being?
I don't think any of our heroes, if we were to know all the details, are perfect. That's just not.
But who was helpful. Like just a decent human? Like, who was heroic enough but still a decent human? Like they say MLK, he cheated on his wife. Are we going to get to a point in society where cheating on a wife now, we're just going to drag and cancel every person who cheats? Because it could go there.
It could.
Do we drag that? Like, how far do we go, with it? Looking at it, that's why I'm just like, man, I just don't know. For like, when it comes to like heroes and people like that, it's like, they're still human, but who's a decent human?
I don't know, we could say Gandhi, but like...
Gandhi was racist.
Oh, yeah, but that's not what you hear. You'd think of like a perfectly pure human and you're like, oh, Gandhi, and then you grow up and you find out all this shit and you're like, oh, well, not Gandhi, okay.
I like to tell people all the time, I wish I knew what the Confederate symbol stood for. And people laugh at me, but I was like, no, I was raised not to know what the Confederate symbol stood for.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's people out there, I showed you the screenshot. Confederate, they fought for freedom. They did not. How did you make it to school?
If they fought for freedom, then that doesn't even make sense because they lost.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. Like, what are you talking about?
Right? Like, we're caught in it. That's why I'm like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't, like, I don't get it. Like, we're doing that. Like, that's just dumb. That's completely...
And while we're on the whole Confederate thing, if you want to argue that the statue should stand, I just want to hear a better argument than preserving history.
5 years.
This literally has nothing to do with how history is preserved.
Somebody mentioned this, and this was a great idea. If you want to keep the statues and put them in museums or whatever else, then let's treat it like the wall in Berlin. We destroy the statues, and now they're history.
Yeah.
And now we put them in there about how all the black people destroyed these racist slave owner statues.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But then people talking about, like, well, they're going to change MLK Drive. Why would they do that? Like, what else did MLK do? Like, tell me, like, how... I think we need to know, like, why do we preserve certain people up? But at the same time, Columbus was a terrible person.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have Columbus? He's a terrible person.
That's American history. America's going to look at its own establishment.
At least in Russia, they knew these rulers were terrible. Like, yeah, but, he got us where we at.
Russia just acknowledges their savagery, dude. They're just like, yeah, we're bad motherfuckers. Deal with it.
But see, in Russia, like, everybody rides with Russia. Like, if America was kind of like that, you could do that. But, like, we're a melting pot, so we deal with this weird thing of racism and everything else,
Mm-hmm. Like, South Park kind of nailed it with the country and rock and roll episode. I don't know if you remember, but they highlighted how all throughout history we've devised the perfect system because, like, half of us can pretend to be sympathetic to whatever's going on, and the other half can be assholes, and we can act like we're fighting in amongst each other. So we're never completely wrong in any situation.
Republican and liberals.
Yeah.
So great. I mean, that's true, though. We need to, like, how can we, like...
We have, like, technically 4 mindsets right now, politically, as far as, like, the spectrum goes. You have, like, the traditional Republicans, which are, like, the Christian conservative right, which doesn't even make sense if you know Christian doctrine.
Once again, if you just looked in, but we all worship white Jesus.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Either way, and then you have like the more libertarian guys, which are like the traditional conservatives that are like, we don't like the government, we don't like cops, we want our guns, leave us alone. Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm kind of in the middle of this whole thing because like there are things I lean left about and things that I lean right about. It depends on what the deal is. I don't prescribe to anybody's given ideology. But then you have like the Democrats, which are really Republican light.
Fascist light?
Yeah.
Or almost actually fascist heavy.
They're not that different than the Republican Party. They just fight amongst each other. But if they took the time to really acknowledge their similarities, they're more similar than they are different.
They are.
And then you have like the progressives, which are like the more social Bernie Sanders people. That's like the 4 major paradigms right now. Mm-hmm. Only 2 of those groups have like major backing in the government, though.
That's true. Well, like libertarians are trying to.
Yeah.
I told somebody, like, I just actually said earlier, I'm like, after this election, I'm probably going to get a little bit in politics. I'm about to ride hard for a third party because I feel like a third party should win just for the fact we need to display for the ignorant people that need a visual representation of more parties. They need to see that, and it needs to happen.
Yeah. I'm not strictly tied to anything. Like, I like Jo Jorgensen. I like her ideas. But if there was a libertarian candidate that I didn't like or didn't agree with, I would not back that person.
Oh, you mean like the Tiger King?
The Tiger... Oh, yeah. I probably wouldn't vote for the Tiger King.
Or McAfee?
Who?
John McAfee.
Q Snoop Dogg. Who?
John McAfee that, he cut out, he had the Netflix special where, and they were talked about where he had a lot of cocaine, he went out to one of the islands and he cut out a hammock and women were shitting in it in his mouth, and he almost beat Gary Johnson. It was down to him and Gary Johnson in 2016. I
don't know this person well enough.
He has the spyware, McAfee spyware.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but women shit in his mouth.
What I was getting at was like...
He almost...
I will probably never vote for a Democrat or a Republican.
People, man.
Period.
I think we need to get to the point where we need to accept certain truth. I hate when people say, if you don't vote, delete me. And I'm like, that's ignorant because there's no good...
No.
There's no good candidates.
I hate that mindset, and that's so common in the ether now. It's like, if you're not X, delete me. Like, there's some things you could probably reserve that for. Like, if you're a pedophile, I don't want to be your friend. I don't even want to know you at all. Sure, but like, if it's a difference of political opinion, then why are you being such an asshole? People are allowed to think what they think.
I don't know what makes me want to delete a person off of social media.
I don't really delete anyone. I'll unfollow someone if they're obnoxious.
I do unfollow some people, but I don't know for me to delete, like, and I don't really know, like, I can't think of a person, like, a fake profile, sure, but I can't think of a person, like, I would, like, delete, really, because it's just, like, you know, like, even, like you said, pedophile or whatever else, I'm gonna watch you, and if you get back on Facebook, I'm gonna make sure you don't stay around my events.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's why I don't.
You put on events, so you got to watch out for the larger.
I had to watch out because,
eye.
like, like, they're not going to come to the event and be like, I'm a pedophile because, like, they know they're not going to get in.
Yeah.
Right? But now that I know and they come to my event, I'm be like, what are you doing? You don't get a refund. Yeah. Just leave. Bye. Your money was good here, but you're not welcome. Thanks for the donation.
Money's good. You're not.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right? You just earned somebody a free ticket. But yeah, that's why I can't think of nobody. Like, people like, oh, delete all the Trump supporters and everything. I can't, like, why would I delete like, everything else? Like, you know, like, that's why I love to make the point, because I like having just a mix of different people.
Yeah.
Even when I had my old Facebook, I remember somebody was just like, why did I just see Bo Cooper like Obama no Obama? You know, like, right there. Like, because social media puts you in a bubble. So I'm gonna get Trump and Biden. I'm gonna get two different things all the time. That's why you think I share all these weird conspiracies.
Well, that's important anyways. Like, to be exposed to opinions that are different than yours. Even if it's uncomfortable, sometimes you'll notice where you're contradicting your own ideals, your own morals.
But what you take in, you also need to give yourself a diet visually.
Yeah.
So I give myself breaks. I do. I give myself breaks on it. I wasn't on social media a lot. Like, during my birthday, I wasn't really on it. I didn't really like nobody that said happy birthday, even though I posted, you know, my picture with Yeezy, and I just I just enjoyed my area. I just needed a break, right? Social media be very negative because, like, that the media knows negativity is what controversy makes money, right? So I kind of like back off on some things, and you gotta like know, because my Facebook triggers me all the time. If you think it's a cakewalk on all the things I like, I just like, it's a lot. I'd be like, oh, God.
Yeah, like, we're wrestling nerds, in case anyone who would watch this doesn't know, and I feel like all of you would. But, like, the amount of time we spend bitching about the fandom of wrestling, and that's something that we enjoy, God.
I've started to do it. I wasn't on that whole thing till last year. Because if you noticed before, I was really, like, positive. And then I'm just like,
why are these people so dumb?
And it's finally got me. And now, like, just for to be the opposition, since they're two companies, I'm like, now I bitch about AEW because you defend it. So now we have,
we have a dynamic.
We have a dynamic we can like talk about. But like, yeah, it's just, and like, people opinions are so bad. Especially wrestling fans are trash. Most fandoms are terrible. You used to like want to know other people that liked you. Like, I remember like likes what you like. Like, I remember being young and wanting to know more people that like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Or I remember being young and like wanting the conversation of Superman versus Goku. Like, I remember being like 10.
Dude, when I was into Pokemon, I had like 2 friends maybe that played Pokemon when I was a kid. And then one day I was at Walmart here in town, whenever it was like over where the Tractor Supply is at now. And I was reading a strategy guide for one of the Pokemon games at the time. It must have been like Yellow. It was really early on in the series. And like these 2 older guys, I was probably 10 years old, and these guys were like in their 20s. And they came over and they're like, oh, you like Pokemon? We started talking about Pokemon, and they were just assholes to me. They were like, you don't know shit. And I was like, wow, other Pokemon fans are assholes.
Well, you got to learn that early.
Yeah.
You know, and you realize, and you're like, oh man, you gotta like be really specific with. You can't just like people. What I hate for people that's in small towns and like they just accept those terrible friends that like similar things. Like, you're the only friends they got. Like, I thought it would be a great idea. It's so funny. I'm gonna start a wrestling group. Oh my God. I thought that was gonna be a good idea.
The toxicity in that.
The toxicity. It's finally kind of chilled, or I just ignore it. Maybe I ignore it. But oh my God, everybody has all these terrible hot takes just to be edgy.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
And nobody likes that guy, by the way. If like, I do it sometimes when I'm drunk about music and I'm an asshole for it. But if you're the guy that's like constantly doing hot takes, no one likes you.
Nobody likes you. Like, oh my God. It's funny because people look at me like I do hot takes on things, and I really don't.
No, you more or less, you open a doorway to discussion.
I do. I open the doorway to discussion, but people think I really be taking hot takes on things. Like, no, especially not in wrestling. Like
I watch like your quote unquote hot takes on the internet, and I'm like, that's not what he really believes. That's not what he thinks.
But I don't
He's
even
egging
state
you
it like
guys
that.
on.
But I don't even state it like that. I never like really say an opinion on social media. They just literally infer. Like I remember when people were like, "Oh, you must be pro Hillary," "Oh, you must be pro Trump," and like even my girlfriend, she was just like, she finally asked like, "What are you for?" Mm-hmm. Like, cause she was doing things early in relationships, so she was sharing social media. She was sharing some things, because she knew I kind of was into politics, whatever else. But then she was like, got confused, and she didn't know. And she, and she saw enough of my post to be like, I thought you was for this, and I thought you were for that, but you actually haven't stated.
That was my favorite thing during the last election. Like, I would make a Trump joke or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, but is Hillary so much better? It's like, ain't nobody talking about Hillary.
Ain't nobody. Well, that's the same thing. Like, you talk about, like, police brutality, you'd be like, oh, here go the liberals.
Yeah.
What? No, we're not talking about
like, you don't have to have a set schedule to understand that guy's being an asshole, and he's in a public position.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting, but like people just want to assume, and you want to get mad, you want to be controversial. And
I think that's kind of wired into our makeup as people to identify the different, the other.
I don't know if it's in our makeup or is it a system designed by the culture. Like, do other people like Middle East or Asia?
It has to be somewhat in our biology. Just thinking in survival terms, you would need to be able to recognize, oh, that's not like me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's very.
It's possible that's just bleeding over into our very comfortable lives that we've built for each other outside of nature.
That's very true. Society is real weird. How people feel about it is real weird. We need to.
Just be cool.
Just that's so difficult for people. People are Simps and Incels, man.
Simps and Incels.
Or if you want to talk about the female version of Femcel.
That's the name of the episode, Simps and Incels.
Simps and Incels.
I simp you, Jesse.
Simp all day, bro. Simp hard. It's really weird. Like, you could just be cool. You don't have to rape that chick, man. Just be cool. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. Bro, be cool. You don't have to rape. So I'm probably like gonna start saying that to policemen, man. I'll be like, just be cool, bro. You don't have to kill me.
It's not gonna work.
It's not
gonna work at all.
It's probably a trigger. Like, what? Don't tell me what to do. Hey, just be cool, man. I'm just gonna Orange Cassidy it. Like, if they pull the gun on me, I'm just gonna thumbs up. Like, yeah. Last words. I was freshly squeezed. I just chill back on it. Like, ah.
Oh, that's good whiskey. That good Irish whiskey, man.
I got Crown at home. We'll drink.
You should have brought it.
I keep forgetting, but also at the same time, I always think something's gonna happen. We're not gonna be able to do it.
Oh, I guess we've kind of figured out a formula now. So
also, when it got later, I was really worried about the rain because I kept seeing it on social media.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not about to make this drawback. Like, over that bridge, I did it when I was younger. I'm not doing it again.
Worst case scenario, you have to crash here. I got spots for you.
Oh, that's true, and everything. And that's not fine. That's all right. Everything. It was just like I didn't want it to happen like in the middle. Like, oh, I can kind of beat it, and like the weather got faster. I'm just like, I'm going 2 miles.
Yeah.
In this rain, because it's right there when you hit Ogden.
I've had some sketchy situations driving back from Dallas where it's just like raining so hard you can't see 2 feet in front of you, and it's stressful.
It is. It's very stressful, and then like you have to worry about other people because just because you're going 2 miles don't mean somebody's still going to do 70.
Yeah.
Like, it's one.
But let's make that a goal for the next podcast. Is you're bringing your liquor.
All right.
And we're drinking before we start. So we're like nice.
Usually we do.
Yeah.
Usually we was whatever else. Usually that's where we watch wrestling and we drink. Like,
I think the deal this time was like we weren't confident that it was gonna.
That's true. I was really, on AEW, right?
Too bad I gotta leave tomorrow. We could do it again tomorrow.
That's what I asked you about for Thursday.
Yeah. Well, this is my last weekend in Dallas,
and I'll be here earlier next week.
So
I'll be here to watch the full AEW.
Sweet.
Yeah, so
cool. I think next week it's Saturday. No, it's Wednesday and then Saturday after that. The NBA's really messed everything all up.
But they canceled 3 games. They canceled 3 basketball games.
Really?
Yeah, because they marching. in Kenosha.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Gun violence.
Yeah.
You know, everything's political now. Colin Kaepernick opened the way. He was before his time. People don't want to admit that, but like it literally like everybody's getting into politics. Everybody's triggered. Everything like that. You know. This is
everything's so tense. Everyone just be cool.
Just be cool. Just be chill, man. Just chill out.
All right. Llama Party Podcast.
Llama
Any
Party.
closing words, Jesse?
Man, be cool. That is the like.
That's it.
Just be freshly squeezed, bro.
Be Simps and Incels.
Don't be Simps and Incels. Just be cool. Right?
Just be cool.
Why be a simp? You be cool. Like, don't talk trash about a woman's OnlyFans. Just pay the $5.
Just pay the $5.
Just pay the $5. Oh, I don't want to pay for porn. Why not?
Feed that girl's kids.
Yeah, feed that girl's kids. She's just making a living, bro.
Come on.
And then you inbox her. Maybe you get some. I don't know. Sex work goes all around. It'd be cool, bro.
Some girls like Simps.
Right? Some they do.
All right. See you guys next time. Signing off.